Hello to all our magical listeners. We are Marie and Kate. Together, we love to chat about mindful magic. Mindful magic is intentionally, mindfully traveling through each day, each task, every little mundane thing you need to do with a magical mindset. Let's get magical and start this episode. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Mindful Magic. I'm Marie,
And I'm Kate.
and today we're going to talk about tarot cards. And I have to laugh because tarot, however you want to say it, is one of those things that almost everybody has heard about, but very few people know the actual history behind it. And if you've spent any time in spiritual circles, you've probably heard that tarot came from ancient Egypt, Atlantis, secret mystery schools, or some like hidden magical tradition lost to time.
Which sounds pretty cool too.
It does. But the real history of tarot is actually something we can trace through historical records, artwork, and surviving decks. And once you learn where the tarot really came from, it doesn't make it less magical. If anything, it makes the story even more fascinating.
Yeah, and surprisingly, the story doesn't begin with witches, psychics, or fortune tellers. It starts with a card game. And when I first learned that, I was shocked. I had no idea.
Right, and most people are shocked. The earliest tarot decks appeared in northern Italy during the 15th century, around the 1440s. Wealthy families commissioned beautifully painted decks as luxury items. These cards were called trionfi or triumphs. The cards we know now as the major arcana were originally part of a trick-taking card game.
Which means nobody was laying out the Celtic cross spreads in Renaissance Italy.
Right, exactly. People were playing games. The earliest surviving decks, including the Visconti Sforza decks, were commissioned by noble families in Milan. These cards featured images of kings, queens, virtues, emperors and popes, celestial bodies, and symbolic figures that reflected the culture and the worldview of the Renaissance.
And what I find fascinating is that even though they weren't originally created for divination, the imagery was incredibly rich. Most art was back then. Every detail mattered. Humans naturally tell stories through symbols.
We do. The Fool, the Emperor, Death, the Wheel of Fortune card, these figures already existed in art, literature, and religious symbolism. The cards reflected ideas people understood at the time. And for hundreds of years, Tarot remained primarily a game. Then something changed. In the late 18th century, French writers began proposing that hidden mystical wisdom existed within the cards.
Yes, and this is where many of the myths begin. A French writer named Antoine Court, Marie, will you help me pronounce this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Antoine Court de Gabelin.
Gebelin. Antoine suggested that tarot preserves secret knowledge from ancient Egypt. The problem is that historians they haven't found any evidence supporting that claim, and today we know tarot originated in Renaissance Italy. There is no historical connection to ancient Egypt.
I know, which is very interesting. But
It
that
is.
doesn't make tarot less magical. If anything, it makes it more human. We created these symbols, we carried them forward, and we gave them meaning generation after generation. And during the 19th century, occult societies became increasingly interested in tarot. The cards became connected with ceremonial magic, astrology, numerology, Kabbalah, and various esoteric traditions. By the early 20th century, the deck most people recognize today was created. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck was first published in 1909. Edward I'm sorry, Arthur Edward Waite developed the concepts, but the artwork was created by Pamela Colman Smith, whose illustrations transformed tarot forever.
Yeah, and I think Pamela deserves a lot more recognition. I mean, her imagery is why so many people can intuitively understand tarot today. And before her work, many of the major arcana cards were simple suit cards. She illustrated scenes on every card. And those scenes allow people to connect with stories and emotions rather than memorizing their definitions. And that's one reason the Rider-Waite-Smith deck became the foundation for most modern tarot systems. And today, tarot is used in many different ways. Some people see it as a spiritual tool, some see it as psychological reflection, and others use it as a journaling prompt, a meditation aid, or a creative practice.
Right. And no matter how someone approaches tarot, perhaps the most important thing to remember is that the cards themselves don't hold power over us. They invite us to look inward. Tarot doesn't tell us who we are, it helps us explore we are becoming. And because this is going to be a series, we thought it would be fun to start at the very beginning and walk through the major arcana one card at a time. So, Kate, where else would we begin?
With the Fool, of course.
Of course. And before anyone hears the word fool and thinks it means stupidity, let's clear that up right away. The fool is actually one of the most hopeful cards in the entire deck. I think it's also one of the most misunderstood cards in Tarot.
Yeah. Well, maybe the death card. Do you remember Now and Then when they showed the death card and they're like all scared?
Right,
That's how I
right. They
saw it
think,
after that.
yeah, the death and the tower. They're such scary cards, right? Yeah, so that's fair. We'll save that one for another episode. The Fool isn't actually about being foolish at all.
Yeah, in many ways, it's the card of possibility, the moment before you know how something will turn out, the first step before the journey begins, and the deep breath before taking a leap.
I love that. And historically, the Fool existed long before Tarot. Through medieval and Renaissance art, fools often represented outsiders, people who weren't bound by social rules, expectations, or conventional thinking. In Tarot, the Fool became something more. He represents the soul at the beginning of a journey. Not naive, not foolish, simply open.
Yeah. And one of the coolest things about tarot is that every detail in the image tells part of a story. When you look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith Fool card, you see a young traveler standing at the edge of a cliff. And at first glance, it looks simple, but every symbol matters, every detail. The Fool stands beneath a bright yellow sky. In tarot, yellow often symbolizes consciousness, awareness, optimism, enlightenment, and life itself. The card is just, it's filled with light. Nothing about it feels dark. It doesn't feel threatening. And the sun shines overhead. This represents clarity, divine guidance, truth, and life force energy.
I love that. And then there's the cliff. Most people assume the cliff means danger, but spiritually, it represents the unknown. Every meaningful chapter of life has a cliff's edge. Starting a relationship, moving, changing careers, launching a business, beginning a spiritual practice, having children. You never know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. And the fool isn't standing there because he's careless. He's standing there because growth always requires uncertainty. Then you notice the small bundle over his shoulder. He's not carrying the weight of his entire past. He's carrying only what he truly needs for the journey ahead.
Which honestly feels like a lesson all by itself. Most of us drag every fear, every mistake, every old story into our future. The fool travels light.
Yeah. And then there's the white rose in his hand. White traditionally symbolizes purity, sincerity, trust, and an open heart. Not innocence in the sense of being inexperienced, more like approaching life without becoming hardened by it.
Right. Oh, and I love the little dog. The dog is often interpreted as intuition, loyalty, of course, instinct, protection, or even spirit itself. Some readers see the dog as a warning, others see it as encouragement, almost like spirit is saying, go ahead, we've got you.
I love that. The mountains in the background matter too. In tarot, mountains often represent challenges, wisdom, growth, and the journey ahead. And notice they're behind him. The challenges are coming, but they're not here yet.
Right. And that's where many modern interpretations miss the point. People often assume the fool means recklessness. Historically, its deeper meaning is trust, the willingness to move forward despite uncertainty.
Yeah, and the one thing I find fascinating is that the fool is numbered zero, not one, zero. And zero represents unlimited potential. Nothing has happened yet. The story hasn't even started. So every possibility still exists. And one good example. So, any Schitt's Creek lovers, this is for you. I
Right
have,
here.
yeah, I love it. I have the Schitt's Creek tarot deck, and the fool for this tarot deck is Alexis Rose. And I love that choice because she embodies so much of the Fool's energy. Heidi Page and Ashley Brock, who are the creators of this deck, they describe the Fool as, quote, a little bit la la la. It signifies a fresh start with abandon. Channel the confidence of Alexis as she dances to her own tune. Follow your heart's desire. Don't be afraid to experiment with something new. The Fool is all about openness and optimism. Take a leap of faith. Whatever you start now will go well. And that's just such a fun way to understand this card.
It really is. And, shout out to Schitt's Creek. We love it. And a little shout out and love to Catherine O'Hara.
Yes.
We just absolutely adore her.
I have chills. I'm so sad still about that.
I
Um,
know.
and but also Alexis doesn't have everything figured out. Half the time she's making it up as she goes, which I love that about her, but she keeps moving. She tries new things, she reinvents herself, she follows her heart, she takes chances, and she doesn't sit around waiting until everything's perfectly ready. So maybe when the fool shows up, one question to ask yourself is, what would Alexis do?
WWAD.
Yes.
WAD.
What?
Oh my gosh. And surprisingly, that's actually pretty good tarot advice. Every meaningful chapter of life begins with a full moment. Starting a relationship, taking a new job, moving to a new place, writing a book, launching a business. At some point, you have to simply step forward.
Right, without guarantees.
Exactly. The Fool reminds us that certainty is not required for growth, only courage. Now, if you read reversals, the Fool reverse doesn't necessarily mean failure or disaster.
Yeah, it can mean simply hesitation, fear of taking the leap, overthinking, or waiting until everything is perfect before moving forward, which Alexis just taught us. You just go
Right.
anyways.
Yeah. Or sometimes the opposite, jumping before you've looked where you're going to land.
Yeah. And either way, the message is usually the same. Check your relationship with risk. Are you holding yourself back or are you moving too fast?
Right. The answer is usually somewhere in the middle. So I love the full card, and that is such a great, it is the perfect card for the beginning of the deck. It's
It
so
is.
hopeful.
It is.
And so Kate, want to do a little kitchen witch corner?
Yes, I do. Today's ritual is beautifully simple, as we love it. Find a small stone during a walk, hold it in your hands, and think about one thing you've been hesitating to begin. It doesn't have to be huge, just one next step. So when you're ready, place the stone somewhere meaningful. This can be a garden, a flower pot, a windowsill. Let it become a symbol that movement creates momentum.
I love that. Oh gosh, I just thought of something. What if the thing you were hesitating to do was cleaning up a pile of rocks?
That's hilarious. Yes, I do have that on my to-do list, actually.
Right. Oh my God, it's time for yard work. Okay. So it's not complicated spell work, no elaborate ingredients. It's just a conscious commitment to begin something. And we always like to include some type of tea of the episode or, a little recipe that we like to leave you guys with. So we were thinking for the fool's energy, we're going to share a beginning again tea. And this is going to consist of, here's the ingredients. This is just for one serving, so adjust as needed. 1 teaspoon of dried chamomile, 1 teaspoon of lemon balm, and a pinch of fresh mint. Steep that in your hot water for 5 minutes. And I like to sweeten with a little honey or stevia. And chamomile brings calm, lemon balm encourages optimism, and mint adds freshness and forward motion, perfect for the Fool.
Yes. That is perfect for setting intention, especially for new beginnings. It's bright and it's uplifting.
It's perfect. And one of the greatest misconceptions about the Fool is that it's a card for the young, like it's a youth card. And I don't think that's true at all. Some of the bravest Fool moments happen later in life. That's when people are changing careers or starting over again after a loss, possibly returning to school, or I love this one, leaving what no longer fits or cutting out toxicity and stepping in a new direction, learning something entirely new.
Yeah. I totally embodied the full energy when I met my husband. Like, I just went for it and I was terrified, and I'm so glad I did. I was trying to think of my full moment, and I have quite a few, but that is my favorite one. So, and also we want to say the fool isn't about age, it's about willingness, the willingness to remain open to possibility.
Right. And perhaps that's why this card sits at the beginning of the major arcana, because every transformation starts the same way with the first step, just one step, not exactly knowing where the path leads, but taking that first step anyway. We will be doing this segment each episode until we get through the entire deck. Right, Kate? We wanted to
Yes,
share and teach and it's a good refresh for ourselves because we've been I don't know, I got my first actually I got a Rider-Waite deck that my stepmom gave me when I was 12, so we're talking a long time. It's time for a refresh. I love this.
I do too. I'm
And
excited to do that. And we're also
I
create oh, I'm sorry, Marie, go ahead.
no, 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 go right ahead. I'm
We're
done.
also creating these little images that you can save. I've just called them pocket size for each card. So it's a little guide after every episode. So tonight when we're done, I'm going to post that on our social media so you can save that. You can print it out and put it in your book of shadows or a journal, whatever. So we'll be doing that for each card as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And then, Kate, I'm glad you mentioned that. And then, is there anything else that before we get to Kate's segment of her collective reading, our blessed collective reading?
I'm
Are
already
we?
getting stuff for the reading. I have been since this morning, but I'm starting to get more. I'm so excited. Is there anything else you want to add, Marie?
No, I'm excited too. Let's go.
So right before we got to this point here, Archangel Uriel was just really, really strong in this. I'm getting because Archangel Uriel and my angels know that I was preparing to do this. Um, Archangel Uriel is the perfect archangel to work with if this resonates with you, because the Fool is also part of the collective reading as well. This energy, keep moving forward, being optimistic, that is part of our reading today. Also, if you want to if you're in the full energy now, or you're deciding, okay, that's where I want to be, working with Archangel Uriel is amazing. Archangel Uriel will guide you every step of the way, but you have to take the steps. So you take one step, you push yourself a little bit, everything will become more clear. So Archangel Uriel is very strong in today's reading. So the full energy, so I decided to pull from the Crystal Angels Oracle. See what else comes through here. I'm also hearing to, with that full energy, to keep moving forward and know that everything that's heavy now, I'm getting a lot of heaviness and stress, but I'm also getting a lot of good things coming, but there's so much weighing on us. So it's important to know that you can ask your angels to take that. Envision yourself taking all that weight off your shoulders, around your body if you feel like you're gaining weight. Envision yourself kind of handing it to your angels and being willing to release that. And this will result, and I do mention this often, in creative solutions, um, and clarity as well. So when you need to release something and you're willing to do it, the clarity will come. You just have to pay attention and stay grounded and follow your intuition and the nudges that you receive. Um, The first card I pulled is Fluorite, Natural Beauty and Authenticity. Be yourself, as God, Source, made you naturally attractive and lovable inside and out. So in the card, there's two crystals and the angels holding them and they're balanced. So I'm getting balance in this card as well, but with being who you are, that full energy mixed with authenticity. I did a reading, I think it was the other day, that we are repressing our authenticity and it's becoming so uncomfortable we can't do it anymore. So if you want to do something, go for it. Do it. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Also, the next card I pulled is Rose Quartz. So I'm getting like expanding of the heart chakra, renewed romance, new love coming in, just feeling grateful, tuning into the frequency of love and joy. But I'm getting more for this card. One second. Um, so with this balance, because it came after the fluorite, there's going to be some relationships that people that you've cut cords with from your past are going to be poking at you and kind of you can almost feel eyes on you. I'm getting like people watching you from afar, people pushing your boundaries. Keep set those boundaries and do not be afraid to maintain them. You're going to have to. I'm getting people coming back into your life from your past and make sure you keep them at a distance. I'm going to pull one more and we'll see what we get here. Making time for self-care. So this is all about ourselves, and this is not selfish. This is not selfish at all. This is our time. We're done living our life for other people, and this is about how do I feel? Do I feel good about this? And you know what I love? Alexis energy is coming back too is whenever she doesn't want to do something, she still says she doesn't want to, but in the funniest ways. So a lot of like, no, sorry, maybe some other time. So standing up, maintaining boundaries, focusing on who you are and what it is that you want in that tight circle that you do have, just nurture that. Nurture yourself, nurture those you love. Um, Communication's also big too. You're going to have to speak up. I'm getting a lot of that as well. And then, yeah, that's all that I have for today. Marie, do you want to add anything to that? Did you pick up on anything either when I was talking?
Yeah, I was just thinking that if you do feel those old energies coming to poke back at you, just remember to do some cord cutting and
Yes.
send their energy back to them, draw your energy back to yourself. Don't let them affect you. They're in the past. This is full energy meant to take a step into your future in the right direction.
Yeah. And like the Fool card says, he's not bringing his past with him. So letting the past go. And I know I'm just getting a lot of people from your past trying to come back into your life, even though you already told them, no, I'm done. I'm getting a lot of that too. So I'm so glad you said that, Marie. The cord cutting is huge. And then shielding as well.
Right. And a little bye, Felicia
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much, Kate. You're such a blessing. And I just really want to thank everybody for tuning in. Your support means everything to us.
It does. Thank you. So, uh, your support means everything to us, so we can keep doing what we love. We love talking things witchy, whimsy whirls, and magic in the mundane. So, if you have any questions, show ideas, email us at mindfulmagicchannel@gmail.com. Stay tuned for our next episode, and until then, be blessed. If you have any questions or topics you would like to hear Marie and I discuss, please comment below, send us a message, or reach out to us on Instagram. We like to close each episode with a moment of mindfulness. Take a deep breath and think about what you're grateful for today. We're now going to bless everything that you're grateful for and let your higher self and guides know that you are open for even more blessings. We bid you farewell until we meet again. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. We hope your day is filled with love, happiness, undeniable signs, and mindful magic. You can check out Marie's handmade candles, soaps, lotions, and more at kitchenwitchhawaii.com, and you can follow her on Instagram. You can book an angel reading with me, check out my books, and sign up for our angel magic community at katewhitneyofficial.com. And be sure to follow Mindful Magic on YouTube at Mindful Magic Channel. We are also on Facebook and Instagram.